Hello, 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 beautiful world. This is Faris Al Hajri, PhD AM here in Oman. I enjoy to be in my country. This topic actually very interesting. The universal power, the universal intelligence, battling people towards unity, not segregation, not division. This may be looking very interesting for the reason. When you look carefully at the history, you will realize that human has been in battle, at war with human. So we try to find what is the reason and who blame who and why do we always blame one another. He started, they started, and whether it started from individual or organization or even a country, you will always hear the speech say, let's fight our enemy. Wow. So you find one country say, let's support our soldiers towards gaining the war. They are our enemy. Let's fight our enemy. And when you go to the other side, or what you call the enemy of the one who complained that, the two battling forces, they will say the same thing. So it looks very interesting, very, very interesting for the reason that we find people are fighting each other, countries fighting. But when you go back to the origin of creation of human being, you will find it all started with one family, one single family. Just look at the history of human being. It started with one family, and many of them, they call them Adam and Eve. Am I right? Adam and Eve. They started a family. One man, one woman. They got children. And children, they got grandchildren. And it went throughout generation. And they started to split. Some, they started to go east, to go west. Challenges of, moving forward. But the issue here is the color. That human being started to adopt the environmental location, whether it be a desert, storm, whatever it is, a climatic condition. And it passes through generations. That's why we see people of different races. Different races, different color. So the colors or the races, because I don't believe in colors in human skin, but I believe in race. So the race of human beings started to catch base on the location where human preside within, hundreds and thousands of years passing one generation to another. But when you go back to the initial about battling, so if you were to look at a single family, a father, a mother, a husband, and a wife, when will they accept to see their children fight one another, kill one another, and each one call the enemy of the other? They will never accept. There is no any parent throughout the history of human being that would like to see their children fight one another, kill one another, just to win power. And they will say, yeah, bravo. They will do everything possible to bring peace to their children. What about when it comes to grandchildren? I have never encountered any parents who have grandchildren. They wanted to see their grandchildren fight one another, kill one another, destroy one another, or each one call the other one my enemy. So the battle of humans war that started from Stone Age, whatever the reason could be. But aquapathy, what we found it, we try out of curiosity and how things work, in addition, how events take place. This is very interesting. When you try to see why people fight, why people call one another enemy. I never counted an alien came, extraterrestrial inhabitants, like aliens, came to our beautiful planet and invade our planet to attack our planet. All these are just speculation, but the reality I have never seen. So this speculation keep on happening, but there is no human has encountered aliens or extraterrestrial, living that came to our beautiful planet, try to destroy it. And if that happened, then human will be really united. So I think something is going wrong. Until today, 2023, 21st century, we see countries fight one another. Society fight one another. Human fight human. For what? Human destroy human. Human kill human. Even human compete human. I don't believe even on competition, human competition. We always been dragged by the soul manipulation, brain manipulation, to believe that I have a competitor and I need to win my product or my initiative or my vision or whatever I'm doing, because I have a competitor. The moment I start to think about competitor, that's the beginning of going to the wars. Then we become, fighting one another. That's why we see even superpowers, they fight. You look at America, China, India. I mean, many countries, they come to Russia. Everyone want to gain power. But let's start before we reach into a country, or before we reach into society or an organization, it starts with one person. What is in the mind of a human being? What is in the mind of your mind? What is inside your mind? Gain power, am I right? To be successful, to achieve your ambition. Everybody think about me and me and me. I want to gain power. I want to be successful. I want to lead. And once you become a leader, then you start to lead a community. It moves into a society. It moves into an organization. And it could be a country. You may be a president of a country. You may be a mayor. You may be whatever you call, a leader of a country. And from there, you keep putting that engraved in your mind, the same principle what you were being raised. And that's even started from early civilization. We need to battle. Americans say we need to battle Chinese because they're our traitors. Chinese do the same thing. Russia, that's political, but whatever you call, so any organization, whether individual, whether organization, whether entity, whether a country, they battle one another. But there is another way what we can try to realize. There is a universal intelligence, a universal power that battle human being not to go forward. Why? If you were to look at, for example, Hitler, he conquered almost maybe half of the world. But what happened after that? Did Germany become the most powerful country in the world? Are the Germans the most powerful people in the world, or are the Germans the most advanced country in the world? No. It's the United States, it's China, it's Russia. They're just superpower, but not that. Even Russia does not dominate the entire world. Even Russia or Chinese or Americans, but there's something wrong. When the change does, if we start to think, if we wanted to change the world, somewhere somehow you will be a leader, somewhere somehow you are a mayor, somewhere somehow, so you're a leader in a specific field, whether field of politics, field of science, field of any knowledge, a leader. But when you start from self to believe that there is no human enemy of human, then you can impact the entire society. That change will start from self, then you can impact to one person and to another. But we need to find the root cause. So if we were going back to what I mentioned about a family, a father and mother would never like to see their children fight one another. And grandparents would never like to see their grandchildren fight one another. They want to see peace, and so on. Now, well. Just remember, after the creation of the first family, okay, everybody, most of the people, they call them, they have a name, of course, Adam and Eve, am I right? Okay. You want to change the name, it's up to you, but I know it's Adam and Eve. Okay. It doesn't matter. It's not about the name. But it started with one family. Adam and Eve, they got children. And children got children. So they got grandchildren, grandchildren. So if I was to talk with you, who is watching this episode, who is watching my video, if I was going to ask you, can you think about the factors that unite us? I may tell you, 3. You know what? Adam and Eve are the first grandparents. They're mine, they are yours. We came from the same family. You're my twin. You were created. You were not a machine. You were not invented, but you were created. Am I right? You're not a machine. You're not invented. You're not manipulated. So you were created. And you passed through the fetal development of your mother. Inside the fetal development, that it took about 52 weeks, or what you can say, 9 months fluid is there. So that went in to tackle the root cause. Because we need to think about what caused human to think the way he think, in a way where he think about peace and he acted for peace, or where he think about enemy by starting to talk about competition and then go through segregation, isolation by whatever means. That's the aha moment. Because we are all united, we came from one single family. Because I was created, I was never invented, neither any human being on this planet has ever been invented. In our present time, 2023, 21st century, going back in time, from the early stage, even Stone Age, and going back in time. So we were created. I never encounter any technological advancement in human, in a creature. My nose and your nose is the same. And it's the same nose of any human being back in time, 10,000 years, 20,000 years, 5,000 years, whatever you go back in time. My ears is the same, my eyes, it's just the minor changes. So when you look at our DNA, then you will find all human beings, the present time on 2023, the world population is about 8 billion. Go back in time, you put all that together, you find in the trillions and trillions, numbers that can never even be counted. But you will find one thing. You will find the DNA of all human beings represented exactly, united in a very accurate way by 99.9, I think 0.999 or 0.99. So there's a very minor difference between me, Ferris, and you who is watching this, and any human being. That's the only minor difference. And that's the one maybe about the color of my skin and yours, and so on, about our characters, even twins that don't have the same character. That is one. So, but let's go with another one. The soul. My soul, the eternal being, because I am, one part is the body, but the other part is the soul, including you, including any human being. But our soul are united by 100%. I don't know if you believe with me. Let me repeat. 100%. I see my twin. So what's going wrong that I fight you, or I segregate you, or I compete you, or I detest you, or I discriminate you, or whatever kind of segregation? Who fight who? Who kill who? Who detests who? Who destroy who? Who competes who? And for what? And for what purpose? Why don't we come and unite together for our generation and our grandchildren and our superseding generation that's coming? That's a very important message. That can be done. Have you been realizing when you fight with somebody, there is a moment you go back, you start to regret, you start to think. And I'm sure even Hitler, before he died, he started to feel guilty. Why did I kill people just to conquer? Japanese also, they start to feel guilty when they wanted to conquer the world. And so on, any country. So when we love power, we love money, we love to make power, we want to control, there's nothing wrong. But when we start to gain power by destroying, that's where the universal intelligence, the universal power will battle you. So you will find yourself entering into the battle. You know what happened? You will become also along like a Hitler who tried to invade the world. But what happened to? He left a bad legacy. None of the Germans would like to be called Nazis. Believe me. None of any Egyptian would like to be called Pharaoh. Listen to me. None of any Italian would like to be called Roman. None. They say, I'm Italian, I'm not a Roman. Why they detest that? Because the history itself has denied what the atrocities, what they've done. And that history is represented by the universal power. So it's a battle against atrocities, those who segregate. So the moment you go into segregation, even individually, with somebody, just remember that's the beginning of the battling that you enter with the super intelligence that exists within ourselves. This control everything. Believe me. Then you are going into disaster. Your end is going to be in a disaster. Whether you represent yourself, you represent your family, you represent your group organization, you represent your country, you represent your continent, whoever you represent as a leader, the more your leadership, the way you gain the power through atrocities, that's going to end in a disastrous ways. And history will never forget what you contributed to destroy this world, because generations and after generation, they will never call you a hero. Hitler was never been called a hero. Alexander the King or the Great was never called hero. I'm sorry about that. Mao Zedong was never called a hero. I mean, any hero who destroyed just to gain power was never being witnessed by the history. But look at the people who contribute to make the world in peace, in unity, build this world the way today, irrespective of destruction of the world, irrespective of the wars, what's happening to the world. But still you find there's still advancement in technological advancement. You find this, our world today is better than it was yesterday. It is better than it was 20 years back. It was better than it was 50 years back, and so on. It never, so what could happen if we make more peace? There will be amazing advancements, exponential growth. So let's go into the origin of that. What makes a human being, when he's angry, he wants to destroy, or he wants to gain power by destroying? Love of money, excess love of money by destruction, or excess love of power? When you go back, the origin is that when you look at a child who just came from the womb of his mother, that he just born, he was going through the fetal development for 9 months, encountered by Hakwa, hot water. Amniotic fluid is hot water. From there, the covalent bonds of hydrogen, oxygen split through energy. So we talk about the fuels that keep the system, the body, to function. That's the reason when you see a child is in peace and seek peace. They want to work with peace. Children, they don't want to kill. They do not know even how to hate. They quickly, reconciliate. But as a human grows, he's depleted from the fuel that keep the system to run, including the brain, how everything goes through by cycle. So we need water. So all these fuels, the 4 essential elements of life,
that was provided free to the mother. But after the baby is born, the baby is crying, saying, I need my water, oxygen, energy, hydrogen. These four elements are the secret. So the moment the human is born, is disconnected from these, because every time all the cells, full of the cells, apoptosis, and new cells that come up. For an adult, for example, 50 to 70 billion cells that fall every single day. New cells have to compensate with the same numbers. So the cell cycle, everything, your brain, all your organs, your lungs, your everything go through the cycle of these fuels. So water is supplied and water is excreted through, sweating, urination, or whatever it is. Breathing, all this, and including oxygen, hydrogen, energy. So just stay hydrated. Just remember, start to revitalize yourself. You're in need of that if you want to be part of this gigantic cruise of life. You want to be into this world to build a better world, to leave your name engraved in the gigantic stone of life. You're going to be there. Just join Aquapathy. This is not just an art. This is the knowledge that everybody, every human being, the system collapses the moment your body is depleted from all the fuels, the fields, the four essential elements of life. Stay hydrated. Follow the modalities. Follow the protocol of gulping aqua, drinking our water, the protocol, the program for adults, for children, the temperature, the timing. Follow the for internal use, internal use, which is internal, and the external use, which I call the external application for different application modalities. Beautiful world. I love you, platonic love. You are my blood. You are my blood. Share this video to whoever you can reach. Just say we can change the world. We together. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's not about every individual segregated. It's about we together. Let's raise the voice of peace and love. Let me give you a quick hint. I'm not promoting Oman. I'm telling the truth. Oman is known to be one of the most peaceful countries in the world. And Omani people, they're known to be one of the most, if not the most, hospitable people on this planet. And I'm proud to be Omani. And it's for Oman, it's for the Gulf, it's for the Arabs, and it's for the world. We are all united. One blood, one creation, one soul. We're all together. Have a wonderful day. Beautiful world. Bye-bye. That's a beautiful opera house. The Oman Opera House was built by the late Sultan Qaboos. He had a vision. I read about his story. The vision was to unite Oman with the world. Oman are known to be, if not the most hospitable, but for me, in my personal view, Omanis are the most hospitable people. Come to Oman, you will witness by yourself. Peaceful. They love foreigners. They love to integrate. And it's been said that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, has blessed this country that if you come to Oman, Omani will never spit on you. They will never detest you. They will welcome you. So it's not just for Oman, but it's for the entire humanity. One world, one heart, one love.